Now, as I said, we've had request after request after request. Once we mentioned we were including this piece on the show today, Cathal O'Malley and all the family were on to us a little bit earlier on to say best wishes to Charlie Mcgoldrick as his testimonial is coming up next week. And also Brian Cosgrove has been on to wish Charlie the best of luck. And lots more like that, and I'm sure there's lots more going to come. So we're going to go first to the phone lines and speak with Seamus Duffy. Seamus is the man who really is responsible for putting all of this together, and I can't take any credit for it. Good afternoon to you, Seamus.
Good afternoon, Angelina, and how are you?
Very good, Seamus. So what about yourself?
I'm very good. I'm down here in Enniscrone, and the sun is shining down on us, so we're all happy down here.
What a beautiful place to be on this sort of a weekend. Listen,
Absolutely.
As I said, this you're very much responsible for this, and I know that you're on the testimonial committee as well. I suppose we should set the scene for people who are just tuned in because they're golfing fans and mightn't know the background. Why exactly is there a testimonial happening for Charlie next week?
Well, Charlie, as I said, had to take early retirement there. And this is just, I suppose, the club's way of saying a special thank you to him. Because Charlie was an extraordinary man, he had done so much for the club over the last 21 years. So he'd be a pro in Enniscrone 21 years on Patrick's Day this year. So it was unfortunate that he had to take the early retirement, but Charlie's a positive guy, and I know that he'll be looking at, coming back at some stage, maybe in some other form, and maybe not having as much of a load to carry. But that would be our wish anyway.
Now, Charlie, as you say, an extraordinary man. I mean, I mentioned him here earlier, and as I said, the requests were just flooding in from all over the place. Everyone seems to know who Charlie is, whether they have a passing interest in the sport or in the game, or, they're regular visitors to Enniscrone Golf Club. He was described to me earlier as one of the gentlemen of the game, and I think that would be quite fitting. Absolutely,
because when I look down through the timesheets, there's a total at the moment of 170 teams. That's 4 members per team, 170 teams. You can do the figures. I was never great at maths, but it's a lot of people. And in actual fact, someone told me today that it's going to be one of the biggest tournaments ever hosted in Ireland, that there'll be so many people playing in it. So that's some testament to Charlie, Now, I suppose a lot of people would have been influenced by Charlie, the teacher, because as a professional golfer teaching goes, Charlie was really at the pinnacle of his career. And, when I talk to people, I remember meeting a guy in Malaga Airport there a couple of years ago, and he saw me with the Enniscrone shirt on. He came over and he said, "How is Charlie?" And I was telling him, "Oh yeah, he's going good." He said, "Teaching all the time." I said, "Yeah." He said, "You can tell him one thing." He said, "I'd have the clubs burnt in the fire." He said, "Only for a couple of lessons I had with Charlie." And that's the type of influence he had. He was very positive. He'd always encourage the positive side of your game, and after a lesson with Charlie, you really felt, well, I could go out and beat, Padraig Harrington, no problem. But it was a unique style. I remember going back to 2004, there was a Pro-Am in Enniscrone, and the winning professional, when he was accepting his prize, paid a special compliment to Charlie for ironing out some problem he had with his game. So from that point of view, I'd say a lot of the professionals around the country would say, we'd all aspire to be something like Charlie.
When you started out on the road, and indeed the rest of the committee, on the testimonial committee that is, in organising the event, did you ever think you'd have a response like you've had? I know he's a very popular guy, and that's become very apparent to me in a very short space of time. But I mean, to now be on foot of holding one of the biggest events the country has ever seen for something like this, that's phenomenal.
Absolutely. Now, I remember when I got our committee together initially, and I'm very thankful to the captain of Enniscrone, Mr. Paul O'D, for allowing me the opportunity to be involved in this, because it was a great honour for me to be asked to get involved in this, because Charlie, along with being a good teacher of the golf for me, was also a very good friend of mine. So, it meant an awful lot to me, And we had set a target when we sat down initially. We said, we'll run it on the Saturday, and we'll see how it go. And we said, we might get 50 teams in. and we'd get them out on Saturday. But by the time the word got out, Saturday was nearly filled within a couple of days. And, then we went to 80 teams, that we'd have it over 2 days and have 80 teams. But it just grew and grew. And, there's a lot of people to thank for it. There's a whole swell of support from members and, people coming from all over the country, professionals bringing teams. Initially we had hoped that we would have a professional to play on each team that would be entered, and that teams of three would be enhanced with a professional to bring it up to a team of 4. But unfortunately, all the professionals all over the country wanted to be involved and wanted to bring their own team. So we ended up having to scrap that idea and let people fill in all the spaces themselves. But that's the type of character Charlie was. He endeared himself to everyone, and he's going to have a great weekend, and he's really going to enjoy this weekend.
He certainly is. If you don't mind holding for a moment, Seamus, we're going to the other line because we have Johnny Young, who's a fellow professional and a very good friend, I know, of Charlie's at Rosslare Golf Club. Good afternoon to you, Johnny.
Hello, Angelina and Seamus.
How are you keeping?
Very well, very well. Rosslare, to answer you back, Seamus, is looking beautiful today as well, and the golf course is playing magnificent. So weather all over Ireland seems to be cheerful at the moment.
It certainly does. And I know, Johnny, we've been speaking about Charlie, as I said, in a very short space of time. I have found out how well respected he is, how well liked, and how many people know of Charlie Mcgoldrick. And I know you're a very, very good friend of Charlie's.
That's right. Now, I'd go back a long time with Charlie, and on behalf of the PGA Professionals of Ireland, first of all, Charlie would be seen, and you've used all those kind words, as life's great gentleman. His popularity with his fellow pros would be amazing, and certainly as a friend, there's no warmer man than Charlie. But he's respected, as you've heard, as a great coach within ourselves. We would respect and know that Charlie would be a fantastic coach and a great professional golfer. Charlie, when he would have taken up the voyage for his career, would have been seen to be a man that was going to head for the greatest career, and that's what he did. His dream job is Enniscrone Golf Club, and even talking to Charlie most days lately, that's his dream job. So he's got a lot of happy memories of Enniscrone. He's been very blessed.
I was looking at some of the stuff that Seamus had sent me ahead of this, and just exactly what you said there. I know Charlie's kind of speech to some of the club members when he was taking his retirement said just that. I mean, arriving at Enniscrone was his dream job, and I suppose for a professional to be working like this in a place that you're happy in, that people, you have a relationship built up with people, that's probably a very important aspect of the whole role of a professional within a golf club.
No, absolutely, and I spoke to him, about a week ago about this, and these are. I just asked him, was there any time he looked back and said, well, would he have changed anything? Quite the opposite, with a big smile, and to the members and to the area, he's in the right place. And as we say, this is a break at the moment for him, and knowing Charlie Mcgoldrick. Charlie had a dream to become a golf professional, and there was a lot of obstacles. He had very bad asthma and different things, and the more things got in his way, the more determined Charlie Mcgoldrick was. So the key things I think of Charlie Mcgoldrick, and for anyone listening in there, he has a dream, and Charlie Mcgoldrick is no ordinary man. He's a great fighter, and he became one of the greatest professionals in Ireland of modern day, and Charlie Mcgoldrick will be back. There's no doubt about that.
Are you surprised, knowing Charlie so well and knowing what people think of him, about the number of teams that are currently entered and even a couple of spaces left? I'm sure that will be filled very quickly.
Oh, I think anyone that knows Charlie won't be overly surprised, but I think the people in Ireland, and again in his home club and around the world, I know the nature of people to somebody as warm as Charlie. the entry speaks for itself, I think. I think we all know what a special man Charlie Mcgoldrick is, and it's a tribute to Charlie and his wife Rita, who's a fantastic lady, and to his children Lisa and Charles. So I think we all expected something special. He's a special man.
Are you travelling up yourself, Johnny?
Oh, no doubt. I'll be there for the weekend, and I've got a very, very good partner. He's on the other line there with you.
Oh, well, now I'll tell you, there's something of a fix going on here, Seamus, is there?
I don't think so. Well, I have a very good partner as well on my team. He's called Charles Mcgoldrick, so I'm looking forward to that as well. And I hope Johnny will chip in here and there,
Ah, yeah, he might, Johnny. You'll make a bit of an effort.
Absolutely. Well, we know we're going to have a great weekend, and as I say, the theme of the weekend is set, and Seamus and Pat and captains, and I know the ladies sections, they've all got involved there, so Seamus and the team have done a great job there, so we're going to have a great weekend, and it'll be for all the positive reasons.
Okay, well, Johnny, listen, I'm going to let you go and just free up one of the lines, but thank you so much for joining us, and enjoy the weekend, and hopefully the weather will be something like this weekend again for you.
Absolutely.
Thanks a million, Johnny. That's Johnny Young, a fellow professional, a very good friend of Charlie's as well at Rosslare Golf Club. Seamus, as I said, I want to free up some of the lines because just what Johnny was alluding to there, you mentioned Paul O'D, the men's captain. We're also going to speak to Nicola Moylett as well, the ladies' captain at Enniscrone. But is there anything else you kind of want to add at this point about the testimonial in terms of, I suppose the huge event that it's going to be and a milestone in the event of Enniscrone Golf Club as well, I'm sure?
Absolutely. Just a few little things. Just to point out that Charlie wasn't without his faults now, because he is a Chelsea supporter. But,
look, they all have problems.
And I am nearly convinced now to follow Stockport County, who I take an interest in myself, but it's just not making that much headway with them,
Do you know, Seamus, we could come back to that and do a whole other show on why you're following Stockport some other day when we have the time.
Now, there is a couple of things. There's a few thank yous I want to say before I go. And first of all, I'd like to thank the testimonial committee made up of Beatrice Temlin, Marion Flynn, Albie O'Connor, Billy Barley and Tom McManus. And a special thank you to all the ticket sellers. There's a raffle being held in conjunction with the weekend, and anyone that's looking for tickets, all committee members have tickets both on the ladies and the gentlemen's committee. I'd like to thank all the golfers that are coming from all over the country. And just in relation to that, the Rory Connaughton, who's coming all the way from Lancaster County Golf Club in just close to Philadelphia there, he's coming over especially to be here for the weekend, especially for Charlie. And the comment he made in an email he sent to me, and I think this kind of sums up Charlie, he said, "I was charmed by Charlie before I was seduced by Enniscrone Golf Course." So that's the kind of effect Charlie had on people. And he's an Overseas Life member. He's coming over next weekend to be here for the weekend. I'd also like to thank Johnny Young, who is going to supply some entertainment the weekend as well. He's going to do his Bruce Springsteen bit at the weekend, and not alone does he do it well, but I believe when people get to see him, they'll see a marked resemblance between himself and Bruce Springsteen. So I'd like to thank Michael McCummsky, the PGA, for his help as well, and Jerry Green from Cartel for organising all the prizes and from all the different companies and golf clubs. And I'd like to thank all the sponsors who have kindly sponsored all the prizes, and it's really very much appreciated. And finally, I'd just like to wish Charlie, Rita, Lisa and Charles all the best, and I'm really looking forward to playing with Charles on Saturday, and we'll hopefully bring in the winning score.
Okay, and Seamus, just before I let you go, are there many places left for the Wednesday and the Thursday, and if so, can people contact the club for a timesheet?
They can indeed. They can contact the club or contact myself on either the club number, which is 096 36297, or they can contact me on 086 806 1535.